Hello friends, my name is Jesse George, your professional lecturer. Okay, so in this video we are going to continue with tabular presentation. In the last video I said when data are collected they must be presented in two forms, that is either tabular or diagrammatically. Okay, now the tabular is called frequency distribution, okay, while the diagram is segmented into two charts and graphs. Okay, I gave you examples of graph, so you watch the last video, you will see all this explanation. All right, so tabular presentation, like I said, it could be simple, that is simple frequency distribution, or grouped frequency distribution. So for simple frequency distribution, we are going to have something like the class mark. The class mark is always represented by X. Okay, then we are going to have something like tally. What is tally? Tally is nothing but representing observations by stroke. Okay, by stroke. All right, so if you want to write, let's take for example, when we talk of tally, let's say these are the value of X. Okay, before we go into tally, let's talk about frequency. Frequency is the number of times an observation occurs. Okay, so when you have, say, 0, 1, 2, and 3, for example, and as such the frequency 0 appears twice, 1 appears 5, this appears 6, and this appears 12 times. Okay, so if you want to get the tally, let's say the tally, something that appears twice will be represented with 2 strokes. Okay, if it is 5, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, if it is 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then 6. If it is 12, you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, you count in 5s, then 1, 2. So students, take note of that. So this is known as a simple or group frequency distribution. You can be asked to calculate the cumulative frequency distribution. That's when you add, for example, if you want to get the cumulative of this, you have 2, then you add the 2 plus 5 will give you 7, then the 7 plus 6, that's 13, then 13 plus 12 will give you 25. So cumulative is nothing but the sum of frequency up to a particular class. When you sum the frequency up to a particular class, all right, is known, that's the sum of the frequency, up to a particular class. It's called the cumulative frequency. All right, now let's quickly discuss the grouped frequency distribution. The group frequency distribution, in a group frequency distribution, there are things you should watch for. We have terms like class. Class means the group of observation, that is class. The group of observation, that is group that has the same characteristics, or just group of observation, that is class. So like I said, class mark, when we say class mark, write it down, it has to do with the representative. Okay, representative of observation. Okay, and it's always represented by X. All right, so let's take a group. Supposing we have 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 5. This is a class, and it will be written as 1 to 5. All right, it will be written as 1 to 5. So this x will be 1 plus 5. You just take the average of the class limits. So this is a class limit, and it is called lower class limit. While this is also a class limit, it is called upper class limit. So to calculate the class mark, you will add the lower class limit plus upper class limit divided by 2. So it will give you the class mark. That's the representative of the class. Okay, that's what we call class limits. Are you with me? Then we'll be talking about class boundary. Class boundary. Class boundary. Class boundary is nothing but the halfway mark. Halfway mark. Let's take, for example, we have 1 to 2, 3, 4 to 5. Then the next class we begin with 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The next class will begin with 11, and so on, like that. So the halfway between the upper class limits of a class and the lower class limits of the next class is called the class boundary. So the class boundary is the halfway mark between 10 and 11. The halfway mark between lower class limits of a class and the upper class limit of the next class. Okay, that's class boundary. So if you have this class now, this will be the lower class boundary, while this one will be the upper class boundary. Are you with me now of that class? So don't forget, class boundary is the halfway mark, and here what is the halfway between this and this is 5.5. Then here will be 10 point what class 5. Okay, all right. So in the next video I'm going to show you some things, how to ascertain the class boundaries, when you are given a table. Hope you understand this. So in the next video I'm bringing a question that will summarize the whole thing I've said. If you like the video, please do share with your friends. Thank you. Bye for now.